before I even say anything about the movie, I just want to do this. People talk a lot of shit about the Fast and Furious franchise, and you know how it goes. They're all kinds. Oh, it's not grounded in reality. It's not about racing anymore. And that's criticism that's nitpicky shit that people come up with when they don't know what else to say. If they can't take it serious enough, it's an action movie. They're action movies now. You don't go to an Expendables movie and be like, oh, well, that would never happen in real life.
Right.
I mean, you don't go to action movies like, oh, that would never happen. Like, you gotta calm that shit, that part of your brain, shut it the fuck up, and just enjoy what's on the screen. Now, if you legitimately don't like it, okay, fine. It's not... Some movies ain't for everybody. It is what it is.
But that is, if, like you said, that is if you legitimately don't like
it. But when these motherfuckers actually deliver on the action front, it's like, you gotta... Come on now. Like, you gotta stop that shit, man. This whole, oh, well, that is so unrealistic now. That's exactly why they put going to space in this movie, because people kept talking shit like, oh, hey, well, they're gonna go to space now? They're like, yeah, bitch, we're gonna go to space. What you gonna say about it?
And when we saw that part in the movie, we knew what they were doing.
Yeah, it's obvious. And it's dope. Like, if you do ridiculous shit and it's not dope, then that's one thing they they tried that shit is whack, they're just doing whatever now. Right. But when they do ridiculous shit and make it ridiculously entertaining at the same time, then you gotta realize.
How about this? How about when they make it make sense? Like, they do things that make you think, well, if you do it that way, you can apply this. You can apply a rocket to a car and make, like they apply the laws of physics to shit that we thought was impossible, and now you're watching it happen, and they're saying fuck you to the people saying
they're going to space like this. Like, yeah, bitch, we're going to space. That type shit. Now, we're gonna do it the usual way. First, spoiler free for a little bit, and then we're gonna hop into spoilers. Now, Justin Lin came back, and I know I talk a lot of shit about Tokyo Drift because he directed that too. I talk a lot of shit about Tokyo Drift. At this point, it's just to push buttons, because I know some people they it's the only one about racing since the first one, that type of shit. So I do it to ruffle feathers now. But this motherfucker did Tokyo Drift 4, 5, and 6. Like, he put his stamp on his franchise, and this motherfucker knows how to do action. Justin Lin knows how to do action. Like, he's so good at that, man. He's so good. This is a movie that's fucking jam-packed with all kinds of wild shit. Story, characters, action, twists and turns, racing.
And for those who haven't seen it yet, who are going to go see it, the story was beautifully written, because sometimes I feel as though movies get lost and they try to force a story because this is the 10th installment or the 9th installment. Yeah. And they're like, what story can we bring from the past to make it make sense? And you're still like, oh, fuck this shit. But no, this shit was beautiful. The Toretto family story.
Mm-hmm. And what I like is, like, it was obvious that they created some backstory to introduce these new characters and all that, but like they did it in a way where I didn't mind it, and it felt natural. Amen. It went along line with the story and what they were trying to do. I'm like, okay, they gave you just enough that what we needed to push the story along. Like, here's what's going on, here's why he's in the picture. Mm-hmm. Boom, 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 push it forward. That's why he's mad, and then let's get it.
Right, they jump right into the action.
Yeah.
So some directors tell you so much of the backstory. For example, that TV show, Jupiter's Legacy on Netflix, they try to tell you the backstory so much, they fuck up the actual present-day storyline.
Like, sometimes it's just an exposition dump where they just go on and on and on to the point, like, all right, man, okay, can we get on with this shit now? This one, they gave you just enough, and they cut back to it as needed to fill you in on what you didn't know, and then boom, cut right to the. And sometimes when people do, like when some directors do like a flashback or time jump, whatever like that, it feels jarring. To me, it felt natural in this motherfucker. Not once did I feel like the flow of it disturbed or interrupted or anything. Like, it just
took the word right out of my fucking mouth.
I would just sit here like, okay, cool. And like, shit was just happening. Boom, boom, boom. Bigger and bigger and better. Every movie gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger in what they try to achieve and what they do, to the point where they even damn near break the fourth wall in the movie. It's like, damn, we done did all this crazy shit. We did that, and that. What's next? Like, damn, we ain't got hurt yet. Like, well, this shit's crazy.
That is what made me fall in love with this movie. Nigga, I'm watching it, and there were certain scenes that would happen, certain conversations that would happen. I would be like, well, I'm lost. Explain why this is happening. The director made sure the very next scene explains why this was just said. So, you know, for a quick example, I was trying to figure out the storyline between Dom and his brother. Like, why the fuck are they beefing? They jump right into it and tell you this is why they're beefing. Tyrese actually says something that we all have been saying throughout the whole franchise. How the fuck are you guys getting through these missions unbothered, not harmed? Tyrese mentions it. And as a director, for you to have your actors actually give the crowd what they want and answer their questions?
That's that breaking the fourth wall moment. And also, like, you know, kind of a nod and a wink. And because we've been saying it, it's like they're self-aware. They know what they're doing. Like, if you take these movies seriously, you don't know what the fuck you're watching. If you think that these movies take themselves seriously, and if you take it seriously, then this ain't for you. If you want some artsy, award-winning, heartfelt speech, and you know what I mean, to the point where it's like you know what I mean, some other shit, like this ain't the movie for you. This is action with a compelling story. Some may disagree. I don't give a fuck. It's compelling to me. Like, it gives you just what you need. It checks all the right boxes, and says, fuck it, we're gonna go a step further. Like, they deliver, man. When it comes to the action, they deliver. Now, people were talking shit before the movie came out here, and it's like, oh, this is the worst one in the franchise, and blah, 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 and they killed it. Like, they don't know what to do anymore. So, obviously, I don't listen to any of that shit, because people are spoiled at this point. People nitpick everything, and that it is what it is. When you give people too much of a good thing, then they become critics and couch directors and all that shit. They sit there with the glass of wine with the pinky out, like, oh no, this is beneath me, like that type of shit. Like, nigga, I don't give a fuck about that. Like, listen, if you entertain me, you did your job. First and foremost, if you entertain me and this movie entertained the fuck out of me, you did your job. Justin Lin, baby, you did your job, son. You've been doing your job for a while, and I appreciate you. Your stamp on this franchise is not unnoticed. But I noticed that shit.
He literally, he paid. I feel as though he allowed each individual actor to put themselves in a position where they can be themselves.
Yeah.
Nobody in this movie, you can tell, nobody read the script and turned into an acting robot where it's like, let me just be this character.
It all felt natural.
It felt natural.
Even John Cena's character, it felt natural. Like him playing the villain role, like he was brooding. He, you know what I mean? He didn't go off on some Shakespearean speech that was like, wait, what was he doing? No, he just said what he needed to say. I'm gonna get mine. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. Word, that's fucked up. I got it. That type of shit. It's like everybody felt like they were having fun doing it. Even Charlize Theron with a fine self. Like, everybody felt like they were having fun doing this. I'm like, okay, I get to do this. All right, we're gonna kill it.
Why was she extra fine in this movie? When I say extra fine, I mean when they showed her, I'm looking at her like, what is going on? How are you this fucking fine?
I don't know how she looks flawless in everything I watch her in, except for Monster, and that was because she wasn't supposed to be, so I get that. But listen, Charlize Theron is a woman that is so fine that, and I said it before, if I ever met her in real life, I would stutter. Like, she would think I'm a bumbling idiot. She's like, what's wrong with you? Like, and then she just leaves. And I'm still sitting there, that type shit. Like, she's so fine.
Looking like a bottle of water to a nigga stuck on a desert.
She's so fine.
Damn.
She can say the bare minimum, and I'm like, yes,
right.
Yes. But everyone felt like they were having a good time, especially the Ludacris and Tyrese dynamic. Like, they always have a good time. And I swear most of the shit that they do is improv, because they're having the time of their life on set, just chilling, just you know, shooting the shit, busting it up, and it's just having fun, man.
I feel like Justin Lin probably said, I'm not going to give you a script, but what would you do in this situation? And you go from there.
He probably just gave him bullet points. It's like, this is what we're trying to achieve. Fuck it. Do whatever you do. What you do.
Them two, how do I say this? Jordana Brewster did her thing.
Speaking, another fine motherfucker. That woman, oh my god, another woman I was stuttering in front of.
She's aging backwards. I felt like I was watching the fantasy all over again. That's how young she fucking.
When she showed up on screen, I almost stood up and applauded, because I'm like, you are that fine, so fucking fine.
She was fine as fuck. Michelle Rodriguez, she has become another face of the franchise to me. There was something else I wanted to point out to you.
What?
They also showed and told us why Brian, while Brian wasn't going on missions. Like, I'm glad that they actually allowed Jordana Brewster to say he's watching the kids.
Yeah. So he's still involved in the story, and I appreciate that because like, and it'd been so easy to kill this character off, off camera, something like that, in the movie, but they never did that. They're like, no, he's chilling, he's out of this life, making it happen. I'm like, cool, I appreciate that because he's still very, very much a face of this franchise. Shout out to Paul Walker. You'll never be forgotten, baby.
Never be forgotten,
You did your thing. You did your thing.
You will never be forgotten.
You did your thing. And I love the fact that they're still keeping it going and still keeping it fresh. And by fresh, I mean they're going bigger and bigger and better. Every movie. Like, it hasn't gotten stale to me yet. Like, and you can say what you want. Oh, like, y'all easily entertained. I don't give a fuck. Say whatever you want. Kiss my ass. Like, these movies are so fucking entertaining. They're so entertaining. They haven't stopped being entertaining yet. I don't know how they do it, but they managed to do it.
Even when we saw certain parts, we were like, "Oh, that's impossible," but we still enjoyed watching the impossible happen.
I love watching the impossible.
When you walk into the movie theater, what niggas need to fucking realize is you go to the movie theater to escape the outside world. Fuck the outside world for 2 hours.
Movies are fantasy. When you start taking certain movies too seriously, you lose sight of why you watch certain movies. Movies are escape from reality, number one, and two, fantasy. To watch shit that it wouldn't happen in real life, but I'm here to watch it happen on the screen,
like
done in spectacular fashion.
Thank you.
Done in spectacular fashion, and they have done that. Mm-hmm. So, closing out the spoiler-free portion of this is a movie that I fucking loved from beginning to end. I loved it. I will watch it again. Mm-hmm. I'm glad we got to go back to our theater,
our home theater,
the theater that we watched Endgame and Infinity War in.
Civil War.
Deadpool. I'm glad we got to go back to our favorite fucking theater. Once again, every time we go to that theater, we get recognized. Yep. Shout out to the couple that came up to us like, yeah, man, I've recognized y'all from YouTube. Love what y'all do. I appreciate that, man. It makes me feel good. So going into the movie with that positive mindset make the movie even better.
Even better.
I wish I got the names and took a picture, but we kind of rushing. But shout out to y'all. I hope y'all watching this video. I appreciate y'all. This was a great fucking movie, and I would say if you haven't seen it, if you're on the fence about it, you love the franchise, go watch it. You will be entertained.
He just said it. If you love the franchise, you will love this as long as you just open up your mind and your fucking heart and enjoy the fucking movie because we enjoyed the hell out of it.
Just enjoy shit. If you know how to enjoy shit, you'll enjoy this movie.
You'll enjoy life, too.
Because I did. And I'm speaking for me. I fucking enjoyed it. With that being said, spoiler time, baby. That shit with his pops was crazy.
It hurt. That shit hurt.
That shit was crazy. And shout out to the actors that played young Dom and young Jacob. Was his name Jacob?
Was it Jacob? Yeah, it was Jacob. Jacob. Let me get my notepad.
Shout out to them because they did their job. They actually fucking killed it. Like, they were great actors. They were actually great fucking actors. And even the guy that played young Dom, I'm like, I was watching him, I'm like, yeah, you kind of embody Vin Diesel. Like,
his voice.
Yeah, it's like, are you related to him? Because like he was actually young, Vin Diesel. I'm like, all right. And he gave a great performance. The little bit of screen time that young Jacob had, he killed that shit too. When it was time to get brolic, when the dude was talking shit.
That shit. Okay. So the race itself. Yeah. The race was the hardest thing for me to watch in that movie. And when you guys see it, you guys will understand exactly why the race scene showing what happened to his father, that shit hurt. Young Jacob, his story was so fucked up. And we were like, we hated the nigga for about, what, an hour of the movie?
Yeah, and it's crazy how they did that. And, like, showing how crazy of a character, how complex of a character this was, because the whole time you think he the villain, you think he sabotaged the car, killed his pops, and all that shit. Dom thinking that, audience thinking, I'm like, damn, you a real piece of shit, huh?
Yep.
But no, he's keeping all that internal because of the discussion him and his pops had. He's like, listen, I was supposed to do that. I didn't know it would end up like that, but you don't know that. You don't know that. So there's all this animosity, and at this point, Dom don't give a fuck because he doesn't know it. So they go through this race. He's like, if you lose, you keep going. You will never come back.
And that was when Dom... First, I didn't know. I forgot Dom went to jail when he was younger.
Yeah.
So when Dom got out of jail, the dude inside of the dude inside of prison with him mentioned something about a vehicle, a hairline fracture, and one of the pistons or whatever.
Yeah.
So Dom was like, hold the fuck up.
So he automatically put 2 and 2 together. It's like, you were the last one working on the car. You killed him. Why'd you kill him?
And that final race between him and his brother when they were young, that shit was like, boom.
Yeah.
For you to tell your family something like that?
That shit was wild, man. So he harbored that aggression and I don't want to say hate, because he didn't hate his brother. He was like, he was saddened by what happened. So that a little bit of animosity and all that he carried all these years, to the point where he became a spy. He became one of the best, and then he said fuck it, and then went rogue.
Yeah.
And which is unfortunate. And then he started doing all kinds of crazy shit. But like the whole time he was doing crazy shit, he looked like a badass. I'm watching him most of the time. He doing his own stunts because that's what he do. He in WWE. He do that shit for real. So like he's killing it. He's fighting. The fight scenes are just crazy. Every time they square off with Dom, shit is crazy. Like I really enjoyed that. Like at first, when people found out that he was in the movie, people were clowning it, whatever like that. But it's like a lot of people their first the first thing they do when they find out something like that is they automatically clown it. But then when you see it in action, I hope you can realize that it was implemented really well. He played a hell of a role, and he felt like a natural fit in this motherfucker. He didn't feel like he was like just injected for no fucking reason. He actually fit. That motherfucker actually fit, and I appreciate the dynamic.
He did more than fit. He was realistic.
I bought it.
I bought it.
I fucking bought that shit.
Like that child, that shit he experienced when he was younger. For your brother
that was
to tell
traumatic.
you that, for your brother to tell you, don't ever come back, because and he understood, but at the same time he was like, I lost my father too, nigga.
That was childhood trauma. And for him to just harbor all that and keep it internal and not even snitch until it was like absolutely necessary. That's crazy.
He told Dom, he said, nigga, look, Pops wasn't crystal clean. You know what I mean? He told me to do that shit, so Dom was like, oh, shit, my bad.
But at the same time, but like, you about to do this crazy shit. He's like, listen, that aside, I still gotta stop you. You're like, you gotta do what you gotta do. Now, shout out to this movie for doing a lot of things that I appreciated. And number one was getting damn near everybody from the franchise in one movie. Everybody, even going back to Tokyo Drift characters.
Bow Wow, and I forgot the other guy's name who was in Tokyo Drift, who was the main character.
I think his real name is Lucas Black. I forgot what his character in the movie was. But, one thing I always said about Tokyo Drift is his acting wasn't the best. Now he's a good actor, because I've seen other things where he was good, but his acting in that wasn't the best. It really was like really off-putting. But no, it seemed like he got a lot better in the Fast and Furious world, because you saw him briefly in one of the movies when somebody went to go talk to him. I forgot who. It might have been Dom. I don't know. But like seeing him and Bow Wow and the other dude back in the element and just having fun and all that, I'm like, this is cool to see. And them meeting everybody for the first time, and then finally meeting Han again after he was supposedly wiped out. Like that moment, that kind of took me back a little bit. I felt a little emotional, and that moment made me appreciate Tokyo Drift even more, because Tokyo Drift is the first movie that we saw Han in. Han is a character that I loved from the beginning. Like
the way he came back and the way he described how he made it and how he didn't die. I'm happy they actually got in depth with that shit, because you do need to answer certain questions. Now, some people can say, that might be plot armor and all that, because like how can he escape that? But what I mean, I'm glad to see him back, and some things you just gotta go with it, and like I'm okay with it, and I believe that Mr. Nobody has the resources to fake somebody's death. Like that's Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell can do anything. If anything, he's the nigga that can do it. Yeah, so it's like I bought it. And then he turned into even more of a badass and trained Shorty to be a badass. The first time you see her show up on camera, she whooping everybody's ass. Yep. So she's automatically a G. That fight scene in that room, in that apartment, that shit was wild, because that was close quarters shit. If you can't even appreciate that, you might be watching the wrong movie, or you might just be so like blinded with hate you can't even enjoy a good thing. That whole sequence right there.
I damn near felt the impact. Seeing that shit in the theater, I felt that whole entire scene. And that was so gritty. To the point where they were even using pots and pans as weapons. And like, I gotta use whatever I can find. And they just scrapping right there. I'm like, God damn, that shit is crazy.
That was a dope ass scene. Another one. The Shaw brothers' mother.
Yeah. Seeing her come back. And she's still, she's still doing what she do.
And that was another thing. Like, people need to, like, first and foremost, I need people to understand that this franchise can't just do basing every movie off of drag racing side by side.
I keep saying that.
Making a movie. Now, they still show, for the car lovers out here, they showed an Acura vehicle that blew my fucking mind. They showed a Toyota vehicle that was spectacular. This is for the car lovers. They showed you vehicles in this movie enough. Then he got back to the storyline. There were multiple things in this movie, and it felt like I was back towards Fast and Furious 2, Fast and Furious, and
in a better way.
This movie, when you watch it, they fill in every blank, they check off every box, and they bring back certain people in a way where it makes sense. And Vin Diesel, I have to give it to you, bro. I have to give it to you. You are the person who people will remember the franchise by. Him and Paul Walker. After Paul died, I think Vin Diesel probably pushed the button on himself and said, "Let me do right by my brother."
Mm-hmm. He did good, man. Everybody did good, cause y'all did some dope shit in this fucking movie, and that going to space shit, that was just to say fuck y'all.
Fuck y'all.
You want to talk shit? Yeah, we going to space, bitch. Cause they said that shit back in the day. You're like, oh, what are you gonna do? Going to space now? Yeah, bitch, we going to space. Fuck you. Put the rocket on the motherfucking joint. Send me to space.
They put a rocket engine on a car.
Mm-hmm.
And they were in space in a Pontiac Fiesta.
And I know there's gonna be some people like, oh, that would never happen in real life. Of course it wouldn't happen in real life. That's why it's a goddamn movie.
Shut the fuck up.
Stop that shit. Stop that shit. Like, that shit kills me. That shit fucking kills me. Oh, it ain't about racing anymore. They going to space? Yeah, bitch, they going to space. Deal with it. Like, goddamn, I enjoyed the fuck out of that, man.
The movie dove right into the action. This is what they did. They gave you a backstory. Next thing you know, they put their hands together and they dove.
Yeah. Some shit was so ridiculous to the point where I'm like, I'm having such a good fucking time.
You don't care. You just like
I was smiling like a little fucking kid with candy in his hand and all that shit.
The
teeth
magnets
hurting and everything.
The magnet scene.
Oh my
with
god.
The cars.
That was just. It was so stylish and so creative. I'm like, you can't not have fun with this. I'm like, it's so ridiculous that it's amazing. Like, I loved it. I fucking love that shit, man. The driving, you turn it on, you turn it off, you turn it the opposite way to push things apart and bring it in. It's like and weaponizing magnets. I'm like, holy shit. Who would have thought to weaponize a magnet in that way? Jeez, I don't know who thought of that shit. I don't know whether it's Justin Lin or one of the writers, whatever like that, or collaborative effort. Whoever thought of that shit, salute to you. Man, you get a round of applause for that, because I ain't never seen no shit like that. I ained never seen no shit like that. I had so much fun watching this fucking movie, man. I had so much fun.
And it was creative, like you said. Like, they actually... I'm trying to figure out how to say this shit. You go to the movies to see what they do, right? Mm-hmm. They actually created certain scenes where I couldn't even create it in my own... I couldn't even imagine half of the shit that I saw today.
Exactly.
And, the guest appearances, they had the dude from the UFC, I forgot his name. He's like the Nigerian... king of UFC.
That's what it was?
Yeah, big shit. The big boy, the heavy set.
Yeah.
Him, the tattoo face, big guy that crossed John Cena towards the end. I follow him on Instagram. I know a few of the comments are gonna hate me for saying this, but I could have done without Cardi B showing up at all.
Oh, the thing is, I wrote that out of my brain because I actually forgot that even happened because it was. Now, I knew that was going to happen, and in my mind, I already said it's going to be a little cameo. She ain't going to have no major role in the film, and I was right. So it was so minor that I just wrote it out of my brain. Like I blocked that in my memory, because she started talking, and then my brain started, compacting. I'm like, no, stop talking, that shit, because she annoys the fuck out of me, man. I'm sorry, she annoys the fuck out of me, but it was such a minor role that. It's whatever. It didn't hurt the movie at all. She was there for like less than a minute.
And I respect it because when when you're in the industry, that's like me and you. Let's say we let's say we become famous rappers or something. If we have the opportunity to jump into a franchise,
I'm hopping it.
I'm hopping it.
Yeah.
But personally, I just wish if she was to be in a movie, I just need her to be better. Even if it's a cameo, I need her to be better. I need it to make sense. I just need her to make me want her to be in it. I didn't want her to be in this. I wish her the best in her career. She came from going from where she came from, but I don't want you in it, Cardi. I'm sorry, I don't. I wish you the best with the rap.
I don't either.
I don't want you in it.
I don't either.
But other than that, the movie villain, the rich spoiled dude, he played the hell out of his role as much as he could, and this movie is hard to name every fucking thing in the movie, but this movie was just fucking good, man.
And speaking of him, Charlize Theron just roasted him the whole fucking... Like, she was so cocky to the point, I'm like, damn, you can't say that kind of shit. But she said it with a smile on her face. Like, because he was so full of himself. Like, yeah, we gonna do it. Yeah, I'm Luke. She's like, Luke, bitch, you're Yoda.
You're Yoda.
Like, oh, yeah, he was, a powerful Jedi. She's like, no, you a puppet with a hand up his ass. I said, damn.
And isn't that funny how when she said that shit to main man, he said, hold the fuck up. The next thing you know,
they're working together.
They're working together. So she coursed so much shit.
She got exactly what she wanted, man. And it's gonna be a hell of a finale because 10's supposed to be the last one from what I'm hearing. It's gonna be a hell of a fucking finale, man. And listen, that post-credit scene.
Yep. Like,
first of all, that shit was just so well done because you got Jason Statham. First, you don't know who it is. Somebody's just going to town on the bag, bop, 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 kicks and everything. And like, whew, okay. You hear somebody yelling. You open it up. It's a dude inside there. I'm like, God damn.
So you think it's a punching bag? It's a nigga inside of a punching bag.
It's a human punching bag.
A human punching bag. They took a human punching bag and put a...
Jesus Christ. That's the motherfuckers that's talking shit. They in that bag. So you hear a bang on the door. And he like, who the fuck is that? Open the door. It's Han. And I'm like, oh shit. And they stop it there. I'm like, yo, that's crazy.
Everybody had the oh shit face because it's one of those moments where it's like, oh, you thought the beef was over?
Yo. So now, because like, I'm pretty sure he never knew... He didn't know that Han was still alive. He didn't know. He was a target. He was sent to kill him, and then boom. Like he didn't know. He didn't fucking know. So seeing that shit, I'm like, yo, are they about to squash it? Or are they about to work together? Like, what's gonna happen? Is that him showing him like, yeah, bitch, I'm still alive. So you know what I mean? We good? Like, what's up? Cause that nigga, they both on the same team technically. So
right.
I would love to see what happens.
My only question is this: they never. So I guess it's safe to assume that Mr. Nobody is dead.
We don't know because we never saw him in the movie. We saw him in flashbacks, but we never saw him. So I assume he's dead because they brought that plane down. That plane was brought down, but we don't know. There was no bodies on that plane, so that we saw. So he might have got him out of here, taken him somewhere else. But we didn't see a body. And rule of thumb is, unless you see a body, that motherfucker's still alive. Sometimes when you see a body, that motherfucker's still alive. But
shit, look at how Michelle Rodriguez had a whole funeral.
Yeah, her and Han came back, and they were dead, and they came back. So nobody's actually dead in this world. So we'll see what happens.
Shit, fucking Gal Gadot might come back in Fast 10.
That'd be crazy.
If they explain her story, well, she fell off the plane, she broke every bone in her body, but she survived. Y'all just didn't know.
Somebody in Iron Man suits came and
right.
caught her when she was falling or something like that. So nobody's ever truly dead. So anybody can come back. But wouldn't that be crazy if in the finale, in the final movie, everybody is back? So you got The Rock, you got Jason Statham, you got Han, you got everybody. Everybody's in one film. Like, this one was jam-packed, full of motherfuckers, and it still never felt like it was too much. Mm-hmm. So, go ahead, bring The Rock back, bring Jason Statham back, have them all in one movie, one final job to close it all out or whatever like that. Because Charlize Theron is still there. And she's going to try some shit. Because she's trying to off motherfuckers.
And this is where we get to argue with people when they say, well, what could a villain possibly do to make you need everybody to come back together? Charlize Theron is the baddest of the badasses. Yep. And she is ridiculous when it comes to computers. Yep. So in the next film, I can see her actually being in control of like nuclear weapons and shit. Mm-hmm. And they're like, The Rock, we need you. Jason, we need you. Han, we need you. Gal Gadot, wake the fuck back up. Yeah. We need you.
They walk into Wonder Woman like, listen, I know you're a superhero right now, but we need you. We don't know what to do.
Oh, where she going?
So bring everybody the fuck back, like, cause Han deserves a happy ending. So it would be crazy to have her come back. It's like, yeah, I'm not actually dead. They finally get together. He gets happiness. You know, everybody gets happiness, and then you know you close it off on an emotional note, because you know they're going to close it off on an emotional note. Have niggas crying in the theater again.
That's
you know
what
they're
I'm
gonna do
afraid
it.
of. Two things are going to happen that I can almost guarantee. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. I know the tribute towards Paul Walker is going to break the fucking theater. They have to pay one last tribute to him. Boom. And I am afraid that one of the other main characters may have to die to wrap the franchise up. That's what I'm afraid of, because I know how TV shows do the shit.
I mean, here's what I'm thinking is, if anybody would have died, they would have died already. Tyrese even said it. The shit they went through, especially going to space, if they're able to survive that, they can survive anything. So I don't need anybody to die for an emotional impact. You already got the Paul Walker angle, which is already emotional enough. That's emotional enough. Now, I don't know if they're even going to bring that up, but they might. If it's the last one, then, you know, it
Right, if it's the last one,
it might happen. But either way, this was a movie that I fucking loved. I will see it again. I'll say, at this point, I'm pretty sure you've seen it, because you're not going to watch spoilers without... Well, some people do, but anyway, go watch this movie if you haven't seen it already.
Please.
This shit is batshit crazy in the best possible way. Justin Lin, you did your thing. He's supposed to be directing Fast 10 as well. So...
You better.
We good. We good on that angle. Damn. This was... I'm so glad I saw this shit, man. I'm so glad I saw it. I didn't regret a second. I had the best time of my life in the fucking theater.
The movie was so good to me personally that any negative commentary towards it, I will automatically just ignore it.
I'm just blocking that out. I'm just blocking that out. Because this was the best return to form ever. We already, you know, on our way back to the theaters again, and seeing this shit in the theater was one of the best possible things that could ever happen. So any negative, like, okay, whatever. You know, you're entitled to your opinion. But me, I like it. If you don't, then that's on you. You just don't. It is what it is. Personally, I fucking love the shit.
I loved it.
I fucking loved it. Once again, that movie gets a round of applause from me.
It gets a heavy round of applause from me, because when you watch it yourselves, people, understand that this movie has actually proved to me why spin-offs for this movie are able to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So when this franchise is done, don't be surprised if Ludacris and Tyrese get their own
I would love them to get their own movie. Like, I know that'd be pushing it, but I would love that shit. Like, Hobbs and Shaw already got their own thing. Their movie was amazing. I fucking love that shit.
People hated it.
Man, people hate everything. Like, it's spoiled motherfuckers.
People hated it.
At this point, I don't even give a fuck what people think. I really don't care.
Amen.
I just don't give a fuck anymore. Because if you give a fuck what everybody thinks, then you're going to be wrapped up in your own little world, whatever like that. Listen, I'm not here to listen to other people. I'm here to pay attention to what I think, what I like, and this is what I like.
And that's where it should end.
And that's it.
That's it. If you like it, you love it.
If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. And it is what it is. We can agree to disagree all day. We don't all have to see eye to eye. That's not the way the world works. People are entitled to their own opinions. Not everybody's going to like everything, and I get that. But don't try to act like I'm wrong because I like the shit. When you do that shit, that's when you start fucking up. Just like I'm not going to do it in the opposite way either. Yep. If you don't like it, cool, you don't like it. But if you try to nitpick shit and tell me that I'm wrong or I'm dumb for liking the shit or y'all like everything, that's when you can kiss me the black side of my ass, which is the whole entire thing. So I fucking love this movie. I fucking love this movie. Y'all killed it, and I'm looking forward to part 10. I'm fucking looking forward to that shit. And that's where I'm gonna end it. I fucking love the movie. One more round of applause for me. Y'all motherfuckers killed it. And I can't wait for 10. Can't fucking wait.
On us.
Damn!
He's got his own private army. We need help.
What in the Black Widow? Jordana Brewster's back?
They sink it into the beat.
No way.
Somebody don't want to play this.
Fast.
They know how to get you.
This is a bad time to mention this, but I don't drive.
Damn, girl.
Brother against brother. This should be interesting.
She orchestrated this shit. Oh, shit.
But could you kill him?
Oh.